Alright guys, we're back on the Trailmaster again. This is the Mikuni carburetor that came off the dang thing. Like I said, it's pretty nasty. This is this old fuel just been sitting in this thing. So I'm going to put you guys on hyperlapse and get the bowl off this thing and clean this carburetor out and get this thing to idle. Alright guys, let's check out what's in the bowl. Look at that. Nice. Nice deposits in there. Alright, well, probably put you guys on another hyperlapse and get this thing apart. Got some Berryman's B12. This stuff works great, so I'm going to spray the crap out of everything, get the jets out, clean those out, get this thing to idle and run. Alright guys, the main thing when rebuilding carburetors, you want to make sure the jets spray and all the holes are spraying like carburetor cleaner, kind of like this. So there's those. And these little guys. Other thing you need to do is when you have these older carburetors that have brass floats, you want to shake them kind of by your ear a little bit to see if you hear any liquid or feel any liquid with your hand, because sometimes they get little pinholes and these floats don't float if there's any liquid in them. So it's just another tip to do when you're taking these things apart. Like I said, I'm just taking this thing apart and get everything nice and clean. Alright, looks pretty good. Alright, now that everything's nice and clean, I'm just going to put everything back together how it was. I know you guys are probably going to give me shit, but I did not get a carburetor rebuild kit. So, yeah, like I said, the bowl gasket's really nice. So I'm just going to reuse everything. Everything should be fine, and if it leaks down the road, I'll just pull it off and actually buy a kit. But everything was good, so. I'm just putting everything back together. I put the adjustment back to where it was when I took it apart, and we'll just go from there because I do not know what the adjustment is. Like I said, these things are pretty simple. Just be careful, keep your eye out, and don't over tighten anything because this aluminum might break after, what is it, 60 years or so. And those jets were definitely clogged. It's kind of hard to see in the hyperlapse, but they were pretty clogged, and that needle was stuck a little bit too. Wasn't getting any new gas because like I said, I put gas in the bike, and there was none in the bowl. The bowl was just all that nasty old varnishy gas that's been in there for probably about 40 years or so. So this thing should purr like a kitten when I get this on. I'm also putting points and condenser in the bike. I didn't really like the look of the points, and there's a little plastic pad that rides on the cam for the points, and that's probably worn out. So I'm going to clean the bike up, get the side cover off, and get to those points and change them out. Alright guys, good as new. This thing should run great. Like I said, I set this at the same setting that it was at, so it, like, more than likely it was running fine just how it was. The bike's just been sitting forever. So, and all you really need is a couple screwdrivers. This little nifty Snap-on free screwdriver you get from the Snap-on guy actually comes in handy for a lot of different items that I use day to day. So this is a must. And then a little 8mm, and then definitely some carb cleaner. And this B12 is the best stuff around. It dries real quick and it burns. And like I said, you always want to wear safety glasses too when you're rebuilding carburetors. You don't want to get any of this chemical in your eye because it'll hurt like a bitch. So back on the Trailmaster again. I'm going to install this carburetor I just cleaned up, so hopefully it'll run after this. I'm going to put you guys down hyperlapse and get this thing on. Alright, just got the carburetor installed. I'm letting the fuel flow and let's get this thing started. So this thing wasn't getting very good spark. It hardly sparks with this old plug, so I decided to buy a new guy. So I got a new plug to put in it and it should fire right up. The easy thing is my local auto parts store had it in stock, which is kind of a shocker for me. So let's get this thing installed. All right guys, let's give it a rip. Guys, it's running. And that thing starts right up after that carburetor clean and new spark plug. In the next video, I'm going to be addressing that exhaust pipe with that big hole in it. And this thing will be ready to hit the road. It'll put a little air in the tires, and this thing's going to be ready to rip. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.